Hello, how is everybody out there doing? Ryan here with Fight Game Analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Whittaker versus Till. Robert Whittaker went out there on Fight Island and he was able to get the victory against Darren Till and come home with his hand raised. How exactly did he do it? If you've been enjoying the content, please go ahead and like this video and also subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate your support. So Robert Whittaker goes out there on Fight Island and defeats Darren Till and does it pretty decisively. It was a competitive fight, but the decision was in no way controversial. So how exactly did he do that? Now, the first thing that he did, the very first thing, was that he controlled the distance in the fight. It was the most important thing, and it was one of the things that we talked about how he was going to need to do it in our pre-fight analysis. Till likes to come forward. He fights kind of like a bully. He likes to be the aggressor, likes to move forward, wants to get close and land his big shots. Even likes to work inside the clinch and land elbows. So for Whittaker, the first thing he was going to have to do was make sure that didn't happen. He wanted to stay on the outside, bounce around a little bit on the balls of his feet so that he could maintain the distance where he wanted it. And he did that, right? He was able to control that distance with the jab. He was landing a lot of hard, low calf kicks, and he was using some good feints to keep Till guessing. When Till did try to come in and close the distance and land those big shots, Whittaker broke out some great head movement and even a really good check left hook. And that kind of kept Till honest and kept him at bay. Those leg kicks that he broke out late in the fight, those really paid dividends, because those were the things that really hurt Till's leg. And it negatively affected his ability to explode off of that front foot, which means when he wanted to get in there and land that left hand, it was going to be that much more difficult because that leg was just screaming at him, right? The next thing that Whittaker was really able to do to help win the fight, after he was able to control the distance, was he was going to be able to explode and close that gap when he wanted to and get his offense off. A big part of Robert Whittaker's game, a big part of his offense when you look at all his past fights, is the way that he's able to explode and close that gap. A lot of his opponents, they're not used to somebody being that fast and closing that much distance, so it catches them off guard. Now he'll come in, and a lot of times when he does it, he'll shoot combinations, which makes it even more difficult to defend against. You know, occasionally he'll come with the lead right hand, but a lot of times he'll come in there with 2 and 3 strikes. So once he was able to control that distance, he was able to start getting that offense off. He was able to start exploding and moving forward the way he wanted. Now Till had an answer for it. His defense is tight. He was able to back up. He leaned back, used good head movement, circled out on angles from the side so he wasn't able to get caught. So Till wasn't, Whittaker wasn't just using this and getting off crazy. However, it was another example of how he was controlling the fight. So he's keeping the fight where he wants to keep the fight. He's exploding with his offense when he wants to start getting it off. And he's countering Till's aggression with the feints and the left hooks. Now you mix all that together and you throw in a few well-timed takedowns, you got yourself a victory. It was just that easy. Now I say that jokingly, obviously lighthearted. It's not going to be easy for anybody ever to go out there and get Darren Till out of there. And he did that. And he looked impressive while he was doing it. But he put together a beautiful game plan. And you know that it was difficult, and you know how tough it was, because in the post-fight, Robert Whittaker said it was the most technical striking match he had ever been involved in. And that's saying a lot. Think about who we've seen Robert Whittaker in that octagon with, up to and including his last opponent that he just lost the belt to, Israel Adesanya. And yet it was Till that he gave this highest praise to about the most technical striking match. Now Till, on the other hand, I thought he could have done a little bit more. I would have loved to see him work more leg kicks instead of letting Robert Whittaker get off like that. Till's got some beautiful Muay Thai striking. If he would have gotten there and he just started throwing those right kicks, because he's a southpaw, so coming out of the southpaw stance, if he just started throwing his right kicks and hitting Robert Whittaker's lead leg, I think the fight could have been different. He started to come in close and he closed the distance. He cuts the octagon off beautifully, lining up, getting the right angles for landing that left hand, and he shot it well, and he landed it a few times. He came over the top, he came with it straight, he mixed it up and worked in the uppercuts when Robert Whittaker started to try to duck underneath it. I mean, he did everything right in that regard. But he didn't set it up enough. I would have loved to see him shoot the jab a little bit more. I mean, he tried to set it up by using feints, and that's great, kept Whittaker guessing a little bit with the feints, but I'd have liked to see him use the jab. I'd have liked to see him use the right hook a little bit more. Again, I'd like to see him use the leg kicks a little bit more. All of those things would have kept Whittaker guessing that much more and would have helped Till get that left hand off. I'll tell you one thing he did do that I really liked was I love the way he used those elbows on the inside. Everybody knows about that left hand, and they think that if they get inside of that power, that they can nullify it. And that's typically a pretty good response to it. But Till's got an answer for that. He's not new to this. And Till's answer is the elbow. Instead of shooting that long left hand, you want to come inside, he's going to shorten it up by shooting that elbow out there. And he caught Robert Whittaker coming in the first round with an elbow. Ooh, and let me tell you, it would have ended lesser men. Robert Whittaker, man, he has got a chin on him. He took that shot, he was staggered, but he pulled it together and he kept it moving. Nevertheless, it was a beautiful shot by Till. So, the question remains, what's next for both of these gentlemen? Whittaker, he definitely may get the winner of Adesanya versus Costa. Right now, that's the next fight for Adesanya. He's got Costa lined up. So, Whittaker may get the winner of that one. It may go to Hermanson. He just looked good in his last fight. Got the submission victory against Gastelum. Gastelum may get the winner of Adesanya Costa. And Whittaker may get the winner of that. I don't know. We'll have to see. Till, on the other hand, I don't know where he's going to fit in the equation. He's got a really impressive win over Gastelum. Now he's got the loss over Whittaker. Definitely a top 5 guy, but who he's going to get matched up next against, I don't know. Only time will tell. So please, in the comments, let me know what you guys think. Did you think Whittaker looked really impressive in this one, or do you think he kind of just eked it out? What do you think's next for him? Do you think he's got a title shot in the future? And what do you think's next for Darren Till? If you've been enjoying the content, please go ahead and like this video and also subscribe to the channel as well. And let me know what you guys think down there in the comments.